All right, y'all. So I'm here doing some studying, and I just want to share some information with you guys. So, in the book of Matthew, chapter 13, it says, "To him that have shall be given." And I've been studying this scripture for the past couple of weeks now. It's powerful stuff, and I hope that you guys get this. This is very simple, but yet very powerful. Very, very powerful. To him that have shall be given, and he will have more abundantly. That scientifically is an amazing piece of information that we can apply to our lives if we can tap into it. So what does that mean? And look, what does that look like? Here's what it looks like. What you are carrying in your etheric means your spiritual body, right? What you're carrying in your spirit man, right? What you carry, meaning whether you're carrying hurt, right? Remember, what you have, you'll be given more of. So what you have in your spirit, you will be given more of. So if you have hurt, meaning you're carrying around hurt in your spirit, you're going to be given more hurt, and you will be given it more abundantly. If you are carrying around pain, resentment, bitter, anything on the negative end of the spectrum that you are carrying, I want to be very clear. What you have in your spirit man, meaning what you are carrying in your spirit man, you will be given that more abundantly, right? And again, the law is the law. Doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. The law is indifferent. It's where you are on the spectrum, on the opposite, on the positive end of the spectrum or the negative end of the spectrum. Doesn't matter. But what you have in your spirit, you will be given more of. What you have in your psychology, what does that look like? If you have a positive mindset, if you have a mindset of prosperity, if you have a mindset of health, if you have a mindset of optimism, you will be given more of that same mindset. The danger is if you have a pessimistic mindset, you'll be given more of that pessimistic mindset. Now, okay, that's the law. That's the scientific law. Now, here's the why. Here's the why. I'm not just going to give you the law and how it works, but I'm going to give you the why. Why does that happen? Because the way the world operates is that everything has a rate of vibration, right? Everything has a rate of vibration. What does that mean in simple terms? I'm going to keep it as simple as possible, break it down for you as simple as possible. Your thoughts, the way we think. We have certain thoughts, a number of thoughts throughout the day. I don't know how they came up with this number, but they said we have about 75,000 thoughts a day. I don't know how they measured it, but that's what the scientific world says. 75,000 thoughts. Within that 75,000 thoughts, you have predominant thoughts and you have some thoughts that are not predominant, right? So the frequency of a thought that you have, the number of times you have that thought, that's called a rate of vibration. It's a number of times or frequency. How frequently do you have this one particular thought? And that thought usually is subconscious, it's subliminal. You're not aware that you're having it. It's in your submind. So that's how the rate of vibration is broken down. The number of times you think about something, right? And I'm giving you very simple terms, but it like I said, it's 75,000 thoughts, right? Based on their numbers. Let's just accept that for true for the sake of this conversation. So why are you given more of what you have? Okay, so let's say your rate of vibration, right, we're going to use, again, keep it very simple so we can understand. Let's say you're on the negative end of the spectrum, which is not good. But let's say you're on the negative end of the spectrum. So you're carrying a hurt from what your ex-girlfriend did, your ex-boyfriend, your ex-husband, whatever. You're carrying that hurt, right? Or your baby daddy. You're carrying that hurt, right? So that puts you on the negative end of the spectrum. Let's call that number negative 15. You're emanating. It's called radioactivity. If you study cellular, molecular, you study cellular, molecular, anything on the subatomic level, right? When you study the atoms and the cells, all of that stuff, you'll find this stuff out. You emanate, right? Meaning you're giving off a certain vibration. You're giving off a certain energy. We all do. So you're emanating, meaning you're sending out a signal. Naturally, organically, we do this. So you're sending out a signal of negative 15. Stay with me. So you're sending out a signal of negative 15, unbeknownst to you. You have no idea this is happening. None of us really do. Most of us don't. right? But when you study it, you become more conscious of it, what you're sending out. So you're sending out the signal of negative 15. Now, keep in mind, in this realm of three-dimensional existences, which we are, the laws are opposites attract. Negative and a positive attract. Magnets, right? That's true in 3D. But when you go into 4D, 5D, 6D, and it's infinite. There's all kind of dimensions out there. So when you go out of 3D into 4D and 5D, the laws are totally different. It's not opposites attract. It's opposites, it's negative, it's positive. It's like attracts like. In 4D, like attracts like. In 3D, opposites attract. In 4D, like attracts like. So if you're emanating, we're talking spirit now, you're sending out, signaling on the frequency spectrum, 15, negative 15 rate of vibration. You're sending it out everywhere, all day, every day, because you're carrying, right? You've suppressed or you buried, right? People say you get over it, so you bury the pain. To get over it, a coping mechanism. And you're doing well. You're functioning, you're working, you're taking care of your business, life is going on. But you've buried that pain. You've suppressed it. And that's your way to cope with it. But you're carrying it. And because you're carrying it, it's out of 100%, there's 15% of that. Your 100% is your whole being. Let's just say your whole being, your whole body, everything. Spirit is 100%. 15% of it is that pain, that hurt of your baby daddy, your ex-wife. You're carrying that, right? The bankruptcy, right? The unemployment. You're carrying that pain. And you're sending out, signaling that 15% into the environment, into the ether. Let's call it the ether, right? And what happens now is that 15% of negative frequency, negative energy that you're constantly emanating, constantly, radioactivity you're putting out, you're sending out, is finding other objects that are matching its rate of vibration. It's called frequency matching. If you study, again, the sciences, atoms, you study subatomic particles, it's data that evidence this as a fact, that the rate of vibration that you're emanating will match other elements in the environment that is vibrating at that same rate of negative 15, and it will attract it to itself. Stay with me. The rate of vibration, negative 15, that you are sending out, signaling into your environment, is going to find other elements, objects, things that have that exact same rate of vibration, which is 15, and then it will match that. Because remember, in the fourth dimension, we're not talking 3D, we're talking 4D. The law is like attracts like. That's why an alcoholic will always be cool with another alcoholic. We call it birds of a feather flock together. These are jargons or layman terms to explain a more profound, complex, and complicated scientific fact, right? So you are going to draw to yourself, based off your rate of vibration, objects that match that same rate. This is why the scripture says, to him that have shall be given, and he will have more abundantly. So whatever you have, vis-a-vis carry, you are going to be given more of that abundantly. So when you get this, and it really hits you, it hits you like a sledgehammer, then, only then, you can thoughtfully contemplate, reflect on what you're carrying. Through contemplation, through meditation, through prayer and writing. Writing is one of the best ways. When you write out what you're feeling, not just what you're thinking, but what you're feeling, then trace that feeling back to your thinking. And then challenge that faulty thinking. Challenge that distorted cognitive, that cognition of distortion. Challenge that. And then here's the secret sauce. Release rather than repress. Let go of it rather than bury it. Because when you bury it, you're carrying it. And once you're carrying it, remember the law. You will have more of what you already have. So now, once you get this, you can do what's called a paradigmatic shift. You shift from carrying a negative 15 rate of vibration up to negative 10, negative 5, negative 3, 2, 1. You get my gist. Then you go into positive, positive 5, 10, 15. Now you're carrying a positive rate of vibration, and the same law applies. It doesn't matter if it's negative or positive, it doesn't discriminate. It just simply applies its universal law. So now you will attract the positive end of the spectrum, and you will have more of what you already have, and you will have more of it abundantly. So the secret, again, is to find out what you're carrying, release it rather than to repress it, and then shift into the opposite, the polar opposite direction of the negative into the positive, and then you will start to attract more of that into your life, and you will have that more abundantly. Till next time, peace.